Welcome to picturesque Feel New Sydney, boasting magnificent Sydney Harbour, internationally renowned attractions, iconic landmarks, world's best beaches, a diverse food scene, and the stunning World Heritage listed Blue Mountains. Day or night, stunning Sydney is the place to start your destination New South Wales adventure. Sydney, come feel it all and feel new. Thanks to the New South Wales Government this weekend, we head to Sydney Motorsport Park, boasting 3.93 kilometres of technical floodlit fury to challenge Australia's best riders. Round 2 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul gets underway with our only night round. Now it's time to take a closer look at the track with a very special Ducati track preview for this round.
Well, here we are at Sydney Motorsport Park, and Steve, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about tonight's Ducati track preview. We get to throw our legs over these new Panigale V4S Superbikes.
They are beautiful, aren't they? And I'll tell you what, Chris, this is the fastest Superbike that Ducati have ever made.
It's very, very light as well, 187 kilos, 216 horsepower. I don't know about you, you scared?
Of course I'm scared, but the thing I like the most about this bike is it brings me back to my glory days because it's styled after the old 916, and how iconic was that?
Well, you were fast on that thing, so let's go and see what they're like.
Let's go.
Well, Steve, I don't know about you, but that was fun.
Oh my God, I cannot believe how far these bikes have come. It may look a little bit like a 916, but it doesn't go like one, it's a weapon.
The track itself though, like it's been a while since I've ridden around Sydney Motorsport Park at night as well. The lights, it's actually, the visibility is really good, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the lights are quite bright around here. There's a lot of them. But there's definitely, what I noticed, a lot of overtaking spots out there. It's like turn 2 as an example. There's 2 lines there. You can go wide into turn 2, but you do risk someone nipping up the inside and doing a block pass there.
There's also the switchback between turns 4 and 5, and then the classic one around turn 8 and into turn 9. There's some really cool places here where you can make up time, where you can lose time, and obviously the run down the straight is very important as well.
Absolutely. I mean, let's remember that this is a GP track. It's a big track. There's plenty of overtaking. There's plenty of speed here. Breathtaking turn 1, but everyone wants to see that run to the finish.
Exactly. No, I loved it, and can't wait to do it again.
I wonder if they'll let us go now.
There is plenty of optimism amongst the riders down there in the paddock that we're going to have some dry racing this afternoon. Let's head down to Chris, who's on the scene with all of the riders down there in pit lane.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. It is quite different here today than we expected. But Archie, dry conditions for you guys yesterday, and now you're on the wet. How did it feel out there?
It felt dry. I don't know what to do. We're on wet tyres. I think everyone's on wet tyres. It's just a matter of, yeah, what happens. I don't know, guys. I'm quite nervous, but it is what it is. Obviously, I'm going to be nervous. I've got wet tyres on a dry track. There's wet patches, but anything could happen, you know? It's out of my control. It is what it is. I'm going to go out there and have fun. I think they should let us wait 20 minutes at least, but yeah, I can hear myself now. Hello, everyone.
We know you enjoy it. Hey, good luck out there.
Thanks, Chris. I'll talk to you later.
There you go. It is quite wet here, guys, on the start-finish line. I can see pretty much everyone is on wet tyres. The interesting thing is they don't have tyre warmers on the wets. But Jack Mahaffey, second place in qualifying yesterday. Really fast times in the dry. How are you feeling for this one?
Yeah, feeling all right. I mean, it's a spanner in the works. We knew it was coming, but we just got to be smart, think about the long game, and this race, anything could happen. I mean, it's like 80% dry out there.
Okay.
It's just a couple of places, so if it declares dry halfway through and we get time to change tyres, or we just burn these wets till they become slicks, I don't know.
Have you ridden much in these mixed conditions?
Nah. The last time I rode a wet race was probably 5 years ago.
Well, I wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thank you.
There you go. That's first and second on the grid, first and second in the championship as well. There you go. I'll throw it back to you guys.
Of course, our top two on the grid are both Michelin-shod riders as well. Tom Bramage looking like he's got a fair amount of confidence in the front end of his machine as well. Another rider that was relatively fast in morning warm-up this morning too was Brock Quinlan, who will start a little bit further back on the grid, but the South Australian proved that he's no stranger to the wet conditions. So the officials working hard to make sure that everyone lines up in the right places on the grid.
Big field as well, Phil. Good to see.
Yep, it is Kawasaki Supersport, race one of round two of the championship. Very solid fields. We get ready to go racing. Supersport is go. Great start from both the Sop and Steel guys, with Mahaffey looking like he's going to get the jump over McDonald as they go through turn one. Great start from Ollie Simpson on board the BC Performance Kawasaki as well. Farnsworth has to go back to fourth position as they come out of Sydney.com corner and get hard on the brakes into Motul. Farnsworth, look how late he is on the brakes down into Motul corner.
Whoa, big moment there for Farnsworth too. He wasn't in fourth for long, made it up to that second. He's already had one moment. Up the inside he goes now of Jack Mahaffey, but it is Archie McDonald who's just slipped back in the pack slightly.
Yeah, Tom Bramage back there with, I think it was Josh Newman as well, battling for positions just inside the top 10. Ollie Simpson looking like he's pretty confident. Hayden Nelson, his teammates, also got off to a great start on 279. Who was that charging?
That was Jesus Torres Cabrera.
Yeah, Hessels is on a charge on the port bike entry as they make their way out of SW Motec and then start
There he goes
charge
again.
up the hill.
Look at him up the inside there. He is on a mission.
He is squirrely on the brakes.
He's in seventh. That's his best result so far. He is definitely not scared of the wet.
Well, he's looking like he's very, very comfortable with the setup that the port bike team has given him.
Here he goes again, up the inside.
Can't quite get on the brakes up the inside of Levi Russo on board bike number 12.
Archie McDonald's going backwards here at the moment, in fifth position now. He's really struggling with something. But it is Jake Farnsworth. He said he might have had something up his sleeve. Well, it looks like he has. And look at Ollie Simpson. Ollie Simpson right on the back now.
Now, Farnsworth was almost off the track and onto the grass there. He was right out onto the over the yellow line as they came through. That would be turn 11, just the left-hander before you go through the final corner. He was lucky to keep that bike on track and lucky to keep up momentum. That's why Simpson closed right up onto the back of him on the ZX636R as they make their way through Sydney.com corner on the first flying lap now. It is Farnsworth, Simpson, then behind them is Mahaffey in third, Hayden Nelson in fourth, Levi Russo up into fifth position. Great ride from Levi, great to have him back in Australia after a couple of years of doing multiple championships overseas and spending a lot of time in that Asia Talent Cup.
Yeah, Farnsworth just needs to smooth it out a little bit. He's definitely got the speed, but you're not going to have 2 or 3 moments a lap and finish this race. And he's a little bit squirrely there as well. Tips it in, holds it together, loses his mid-corner speed there. You can just see how Ollie Simpson on the Kawasaki just seems to be a bit smoother and holds a little bit more corner speed. I reckon if Ollie can find a way past, he could feasibly pull away from Farnsworth.
Well, Crazy Jake living up to the billing at the moment with some very late braking, hard accelerating style around the back of Sydney Motorsport Park. And look who's closing in as well, Mahaffey, who's just got bike number 37 nicely warmed up and he's starting to charge his way forward.
Well, this is...
there we go, Simpson.
There's the move.
Simpson up the inside.
Into the blue crew corner he
I have
goes.
to say, Simpson, I agree, Steve, he's looking a fair bit more tidy than what Jake Farnsworth is, but Jake just seems to have some confidence that he can get right up the inside on the brakes. This was the scene of that almost race-ending incident for Farnsworth on the last time around. You can see he was nowhere near as wide on that occasion.
No, he wasn't, but he also lost a bit of space on the entrance. It's like his entry speed wasn't right there. You can just have a look down around the outside. Ollie Simpson rides on the Blue Crew replay and just nips on the inside. Did that quite easily and smoothly. You can see the difference in the bikes. It really does look like Farnsworth is struggling with his bike at the moment.
I also love the clear visors because you could see Ollie Simpson's focus and determination there as he came down into the hairpin.
Well,
he's hard on the brakes now into Motul. As you can see, Jake Farnsworth sideways once again.
Yeah, the thing I like about Jack Mahaffey is the fact that he literally just like chips away at it. He doesn't do anything silly. He'll just get a 10th quicker every lap. He's already got the fastest lap of the race of 41.8. He's caught up to the back of these two guys now, and he's as smooth as you like. Look at the mid-corner speed there that Mahaffey's showing as well. He knows that he's got a lot of laps to get past these two guys, so he's not going to take any risks, but he's going to make it happen the way that he's riding there at the moment. Looks up the inside, can't do it there. Farnsworth again moves around, but it is Ollie Simpson who is trying hard. You can see he's also having a couple of moments now.
Well, you can see there that Farnsworth looked like he was starting to spin the back of the 49 machine up as he made his way up the hill towards Pirelli there, and that is going to assist the degradation of his tyres on this drying track. Mahaffey, I'd have to say, is one of the most calculating riders in this championship as well. And I think that goes back to what you were saying before, Steve, about he's just managed to work his way forward, doing all of the right stuff early on, getting the bike warmed up, getting the feel of the tyres. Hasn't had a wet race for 5 years, as we heard from Chris Vermeulen down there on the grid. And he's doing everything he can now to try and monster the back. There goes. Farnsworth has run wide. Mahaffey says, thank you very much. I don't need a second invitation. He's up into second, and he has literally set sail. He's left Farnsworth from behind. Look at the gap that he's opened up in the space of half the straight.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff there. He's you know, got past just nice and clean, made the move. Now he's got Ollie Simpson inside. I want to take my hat off, though, to Jesus Torres Cabrera because he's up into 5th position now. Hunter Ford has also made his way up to 6th. Pretty impressive stuff. And Josh Newman in that top 10 in 8th position too. Really good. Now it's a race of 2. Kawasaki versus Yamaha, Pirelli versus Michelin.
Oh, new fastest lap of the race, a 1:41.533 for Farnsworth. As he closes up now, for Mahaffey as he closes up onto the back of Ollie Simpson's BC Performance Kawasaki. So it's BC Performance Kawasaki versus Stop and Seal Yamaha at the front of this field. Then we've got another BC Performance Kawasaki back in 3rd. We've got a privateer, well, a very much family-run bike of Hunter Ford in 4th place. This will be Hunter Ford's best result if he can hold that position to the end of this race for quite some time, as Archie McDonald makes his way forward.
Yeah, you are our Kawasaki statistician. Has Hayden Nelson ever been on the podium before?
He has on the podium, yes, a couple of times on the Kawasaki, once last year and once at the first round of the championship at Phillip Island.
Okay, so when was the last time we had a double Kawasaki podium, Phil?
We're going back a little bit further.
Right, there we go. I knew I had something.
Look at this battle too. Archie McDonald making his way forward now. He's just got ahead of Liam Waters, who's putting in a great ride on board the very bright red machine. You won't miss that machine in a hurry as Liam Waters fights back immediately on the brakes down into Pirelli corner. On bike number 18, doing a great job, and this is not an easy race for Archie McDonald.
No.
Well, he said on the grid he was a little bit nervous, and that nervousness is playing out into this race. And right behind him, he's got his teammate Glenn Nelson as well. And it looks like another Team BWR machine charging forward.
Damien Adams.
Nelson, yeah, Damien Adams on board bike number 86.
Yeah, good ride by Damien Adams, and Sam Pizzetta's in that too. Liam Waters gets back past, but here we go, down the straight. It is Jack Mahaffey who takes the lead from Ollie Simpson.
And seemed to do that with relative ease, did Mahaffey.
It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on those lap times now. Last time through, 1:41.5. That was the quickest. 1:41.8, 0.3 quicker.
Will Nassif has just skyrocketed up into 5th position with a 1:41.447. So Nassif...
Look at this, Phil, look at this. He fights back.
That was unbelievable there from Ollie Simpson to fight back around the outside at turn 2.
But it's not over, because up the inside goes the number 37, Jack Mahaffey. He can't do it.
Do they realise we're just past half race distance, Steve? This looks like it's the last lap.
Well, the last thing you want to do in a race like this is make this the last lap. You want to win by a big distance so you can take it easy, but it's not going to be easy. It looks like it's going to go like this to the end, Phil.
It certainly does. You can see that bump there into Pirelli corner. Both of the bikes having to deal with that. Oh! Both of them out of the seat as they made their way out of Pirelli on that occasion.
How close is Mahaffey glued to the back wheel of Ollie Simpson? He is right on the back wheel.
I think it's fair. Oh, Mahaffey both feet off the peg there as he came down into the hairpin as they now head up the back straight. Go past the Blue Crew signs. It is the Kawasaki Yamaha battle out front. Then we've got a 7.5 second lead back to Marcus Hammond, who has now gone up into third position. Hayden Nelson has dropped back to fifth as well. So Marcus Hammond having a great ride in his first ever ride on the Michelin wet weather tyres on board the Motor City Honda CBR 600. So we've now got, Steve, 3 different brands of motorcycle in our top 3. We've got Kawasaki, we've got Yamaha, and we've got Honda.
That is fantastic to see. Paul Free is helping Marcus Hamod out this weekend. So Paul Free back in the championship. But it's Will Nassif now who takes that spot. The fight is on for the final podium spot. There's at least 3 or 4 guys, maybe 5 guys. Jesus Torres Cabrera hasn't given up that spot yet either.
We'll just see how far the gap back is. 8.4 seconds. I don't think Will Nassif will be able to catch these two unless they start banging into each other. But as we come down into the corner at SW Motec, it is Simpson back into the lead. Perfect a time to get an update, Steve, from Chris, who's down in pit lane.
Yeah, thanks, Phil. I was just thinking about what you're talking about. It's quite difficult to say. I think the track's drying so fast that the wet tyres are going to be really difficult to manage. You know, they've still got, what, 5 laps to go. So I think Will Nassif and Marcus Hamond are really got a chance to catch these front guys, because I think when the wet tyre goes off and it overheats, it will be difficult to manage at the end.
Well, we'll keep our eye on that, Chris. The current gap is 7.3 seconds. Back to our third and fourth place riders, who are obviously on slick tyres and charging forward at a rate of knots. Both of them on the last lap were in the low 141 second bracket, with Marcus Hammond doing the fastest lap of the race, a 141.020. Our race leaders on this lap, last lap, Steve, they were both in the mid 41s, so not that much different. As we look at them now completing lap 7, they are recording lap times very, very similar, mid 141. So the riders behind them only coming forward at the tune of half a second a lap for now.
How tight is it between these two for the final spot on the podium? Tell me, surely Marcus Hamod hasn't been on the podium in this class before, has he?
No, this is only his second year in the championship. No podiums last year. On the brakes down into Motul corner. Look at the riding style of these two. Both of them elbow down, full commitment, 100% commitment through Motul now, one of the trickiest corners on the circuit. You rode the circuit yesterday, Steve. You've ridden it many times before. You won your Australian Championship with a year where you came here to Sydney Motorsport Park, and we're now looking at 2 of the new young generation. Pretty sure you weren't doing elbow down back then. And welcome back to a fining Sydney Motorsport Park. The rain was here this morning, but the clouds are starting to break. And as you can see from the drone shots there, of course, the drone brought to us this weekend by the New South Wales government. With championship leader coming into this race, Archie McDonald, Steve.
Down in 12th.
Back now in 12th position, yes. So a big points differential from Archie McDonald to his teammate, who looks certain to either take the race victory or second place.
Yeah, look, McDonald, I wonder what he's lining up here. Does he think that he can slipstream before the start-finish line? He's checking it out now, and he can. All he needs to do is he just needs to sit behind on the final lap of Ollie Simpson, and he can feasibly win this. But for him to go past now, it looks like he thinks that he can pull away.
Well, we saw how good Ollie was on the way out of Motul Corner Turn 2 earlier on in this race. but maybe is he just keeping his powder dry now? You can see them both starting to slide around a fair bit. I think Jack Mahaffey has done exactly what he said he was going to do, and that is turn this Michelin rain tyre into a slick by the end of this race.
He's given it everything he's got at the moment, just looking pretty smooth there. There's still plenty of tread on it though. It's still definitely a wet weather tyre on that one.
Just, Steve, people at home that haven't ridden on a wet tyre on a drying track, tell them what it would feel like for Jack Mahaffey and also Ollie Simpson now.
Well, obviously the wet weather tyres have lots of grooves in them to dissipate the water, but they're a very soft compound. So when they get onto that dry tarmac, the tyre gets really hot and it moves around a lot. So when it moves around a lot, it just, you know, it's very hard to control and trust, but you've just got to go with it. They're not made for dry conditions, that's for sure.
This gap has come down massively on this lap. It is going to be very interesting to see. Remember last lap, 41.0, 41.2 for our race leaders. 38s for Hamid and Nassif, and they have done even better, I think, on this lap. That gap has come right down. They will come down to get the last lap board as they come across the line. 3.93 kilometres to go, and both Hamid and Nassif are certainly going to be in with a chance of the race win as Mahaffey has decided that it's time to go.
Do those guys have slicks on?
They'd have to be having slicks on to be coming charging forward at this time of the race.
It looks
with
like
such
they
pace.
possibly could have slicks.
Will Nassif, 38.2, fastest lap of the race so far.
Rightio, guess what? These guys have taken the gamble for slicks. That is why they're coming through now. Let's head down to Chris.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Steve. They've come in, they both came into the pit lane, put slicks on and had to start at the back of the grid. So I really think the conditions are just going to come to them. It's going to be interesting this last lap.
Well, you predicted it, Chris, when you said a couple of laps ago. There they both go up the inside, down into SW Motec, up the inside of Ollie Simpson, who's put on a brave ride on board that BC Performance Kawasaki. And now they are focusing 100% on our race leader, Jack Mahaffey, who has got a small gap of about 1 second over the charging riders coming forward now. Both Marcus Hamid and Will Nassif looking for their first ever victory in the Kawasaki Supersport category, and it is well within reach now as they come down to the hairpin. Then they will take the run up the back straight and through the final corners. They're going to have a lot more corner exit speed from the final corner. That will slingshot them out onto the straight, Steve, with a lot of ability to try and reel in our race leader as we go past the Blue Crew signs and up to the final complex of corners.
Well, this is a tricky one because I tell you, even though Marcus is a little bit behind at the moment, he's going to have way more speed. Marcus is going to win this race.
Marcus, got to keep the drive out of here.
There you go. Marcus he's going to slipstream.
Well, what's Will Nassif going to do? Is he going to slipstream both of them? Nassif comes around the outside now and they go to the line, level pegging, and three of them come across the line. It is so close. There is nothing in that. I've got no idea who won that race. I've got no idea who came second or third. What we do know is that there is another rider that is charging forward, and that is Jesus Cabrera, who looks like he's got the better of Hayden Nelson over the final stages of the race as well, as Ollie Simpson comes across in fourth position to secure those points. But Jesus takes his best ever result with fifth position ahead of Hayden Nelson. Levi Russo in seventh. Liam Waters will take eighth position. And look at these two. They're good friends and they've just had a sensational race. Here is a replay on the last lap, the Blue Crew replay there of a crash.
That's Newman and it looks like Jake's Farnsworth both gone down there, unfortunately.
Congratulations to Jack Mahaffey. He rode that race to absolute perfection. Confirmation of your results now. Takes the win by 0.002 of a second over Will Nassif. Marcus Hamid in third, both of them celebrating their first Kawasaki Supersport podium. A brave ride by Ollie Simpson in fourth. Jesus Cabrera takes a fifth position. Hayden Nelson in sixth. Levi Russo in seventh. Waters in eighth. Archie McDonald got up to ninth. And Glenn Nelson, his teammate, rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, what a great ride by those guys. Damien Adams in 11th. That's a great result for him. Sam Pizzetta in 12th. Tom Bramich in 13th. 14th, Josh Newman after that incident. Hunter Ford drifted back to 15th. Brock Quinlan, Ryder Gilbert there as well. Good result from him. And Simone Balderini in 17th.
Yeah, Jack Mahaffey celebrating with Ben Meady's mechanic there. They've made their way to the podium and they're with Chris Vermeulen.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. What a race. Probably one of the closest finishes we've ever seen in this championship. And for the Kawasaki Supersport, track conditions were difficult, but Marcus Hammond, congratulations, mate. First podium here on the 600 class. You must be wrapped.
I'm so wrapped, man. All the hard work and effort
gone into this weekend. It's just so surreal, and I just want to say thank you to everyone behind me, and especially my dad, my mother. Man, I couldn't have done this without them, honestly. Like, the track conditions out there were so mixed. I didn't know what to do. I made the gamble, took the slicks, and ended up working well. So I just want to say thank you to everyone behind me, and yeah, hopefully next one should be good as well. So,
Well, good luck in race 2. The conditions probably different again.
thank you, I appreciate it.
There you go. It's our third place man, Marcus Hamon, and his good mate, who's never stood on this podium either, Will Nassif. I mean, over the line, you guys battling, sharing paint, must have been good fun.
Oh, it was crazy. Like, I thought I escaped the 300s with all the super close finishes, just to have one that close. Honestly, I thought I had it for a second, but listen, our first podium feels amazing. You know, this time last year, I think it was race 3 in Supersport 300, I got my first ever podium, and it was second as well, so I'm over the moon, like, honestly. And to where we started Friday, we had a bunch of setup issues, because I was riding a bike with geometry I've never ridden before. And like, to have the to have the bad conditions like that and come away with something like this, man, it's amazing. And to share my first podium with Marcus, like, and him and I have been sharing paint on every single bike you can think of, and a few times that race as well with a bunch of close passes. Like, props to everyone, and props to Jack to win that race with the wets, man. It must have been hard, but yeah, I'm just so stoked. Like, and everyone who's helped on this weekend, like, Dad's obviously the main sponsor, he pays for everything. A lot of JJ's help and Marie's and the whole team. Like, we're in an amazing environment, and I can't wait to see you a bit more up here.
Congratulations again, well done. There's our second place man, Will Nassif, and race winner, Jack Mahaffey, the guy that's stuck on wets and managed that race perfectly, you'd say, almost.
I don't know. I think I probably could have passed Ollie like a lap before, and I maybe would have had a bit more margin. But that was super close. Like I said to you, I thought it was like 80% dry at the start of the race. But I thought, you know what, I'll just burn the wets and I'll see where I end up. Yep. And the other boys gambled on slicks, so kudos to them. But you know, this is like just great. I mean, if I can be really competitive in these mixed conditions, then as well as the dry conditions, then I feel confident. So yeah, super happy.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
There you go. That's our podium for the 600 Supersport Kawasaki class. And back to you guys. So I'm here with the pole man, Archie McDonald. I was going to say, he's always got a smile on his face. He does. He's doing something cheeky. Anyway, Archie, race 1 didn't work out for you. Obviously, you weren't comfortable on those wets. How's the track this time?
Look, we just went out. It's dry. But within saying that, someone just crashed because there is a big white long strip of wet water, I guess you could say. There's a few of them over the track, and yeah, I guess we've got to be careful of that in the race, and it just sucks. Someone's already copped the dust with it, and I hope it doesn't happen to me. But I hope Jake Farnsworth's okay. Best of luck to him, and everyone else in this race, best of luck.
And your bike, you obviously finishing 9th's not where we expect you to be in race 1, but this one you feel a lot more confident?
Yeah, it was just the confidence on the wet tyres. I've always crashed on wet tyres, and I didn't want to crash today, so I played it safe and bring home 9th, and now we're on dries. Hopefully it's a much better race.
Well, we saw you fast in qualifying. Good luck for this one.
Thank you!
Yeah, there he is. He's always a character, isn't he, Archie McDonald? I'm going to go and see his teammate, Jack Mahaffey. Jack won the first race here today. He was on wet tyres on a drying track. Sort of held out till the end. I bet it was squirrely as anything out there. But obviously track conditions are a lot better than race 1, Jack.
Yeah, better. Let's just hope they can get that oil cleaned up because we just saw Jake have a really scary crash on that outlap.
So you're saying it's oil on the circuit?
Oil on the track. They're going to have another go at it. I just saw Jake have a really scary one, so I hope he's all right. Let's see if they get that done. I said to him, look, take the time before you send us out because you just sent us out there in a rush. So anyway, that's not going to affect me as long as everyone does their job, and we'll be all right.
So this time, full dry setup anyway with the bike, suspension, tyres, everything?
Yeah, full dry and full attack mode, full flammer.
I like to see that. Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, I just spoke to Will Nassif. He's really disappointing sitting at the entry to the pit lane there. The team can't get his rear wheel in the bike. So they've obviously put a new slick tyre in and they can't get the axle in. So they've got an issue there. And he's devastated, obviously second place in race 1. So I hope they can get that going. But if they can, he's going to have to start from the pit lane.
Well, pit lane, that will be an even bigger penalty than the rear of the grid penalty that he had to do coming out of pit lane on the warm-up lap in the race, but he was on the slick tyres and managed to make his way through the field. Fingers crossed that Will and his team can get that bike sorted, and we can see our podium place getter from Kawasaki Supersport, race number 1, out there again in race 2. Just that quick reminder of the championship situation. It is Jack Mahaffey and Archie McDonald at the top of the championship. They're also at the top of this grid as well. Back on the second row of the grid, we've also got Glenn Nelson, Ollie Simpson and Hayden Nelson. Unfortunately, Farnsworth not out there on the front row of the grid. Third row of the grid, Bramich, Jesus Torres Cabrera, who was extremely impressive in race number 1, Steve, and Levi Russo as well, having a great first year in the Supersport category with very limited experience on these bigger bikes after a couple of years of racing in the Asia Talent Cup. So once again, thank you to the New South Wales Government and Destination New South Wales for their help in making sure that this round goes ahead in Phil New Sydney at Sydney Motorsport Park. It is Kawasaki Supersport, race number 2. You can see Farnsworth missing from the outside of the grid there. We're ready for a start. Green flag at the back, and Sam Phillips leads the front. Supersport is go. Great start from the front row of the grid, but look at Simpson and Nelson from row 2, Steve. They're getting flying starts. So is Hayden Nelson, Ollie Simpson's teammate, and Tom Bramich is off to a great start on board bike number 44 as well. Normal service has been resumed at the front.
Yeah, good start there by Bramich, and up the front it is Archie McDonald that leads the way with Jack Mahaffey just behind him. Up the inside goes Glenn Nelson there with that yellow-wheeled rear bike.
And Ollie Simpson up into third place as well with a forceful move at Motul Corner. Great start too from Hayden Nelson on board bike number 279. And Jesus Torres Cabrera off to a great start.
Watch this, up the inside already goes Mahaffey. That was a big move. 2 guys go past.
Yeah, Simpson up the inside of Archie McDonald as well. But Torres Cabrera is up into 6th place already, Steve. What a great start from the Port Bike entry.
Something really important's just happened here for this championship. Archie McDonald, who's been pretty much dominant over his teammate. In my mind, Jack Mahaffey now is pulling the pin this weekend. He's really come into his own. And he's got Ollie Simpson to keep him company.
Well, it's the same 2 riders that made a break in Kawasaki Supersport race number 1. The good news is that they're probably got a lot more pursuers than what they have, or what they had in the first race earlier on today. In the tricky conditions, unfortunately, Will Nassif's team still trying to get his bike sorted and get out there on the track. All he's got to do is get out there. There's only going to be a certain amount of time to get out there. You can see Maurice Marbles there helping them as well.
The issue is the rear brake pads have gone sideways or something. When they've gone to put them in, the pads have gone wrong and they can't get the disking, because you can see there they're trying to straighten that out, but it's a bit late now.
McDonald back onto the tail of Ollie Simpson as they come down into Motul Corner, turn 2. Hayden Nelson still holding on to 4th position there, just ahead of Glenn Nelson. Of course, those two are certainly no relation, just happen to have the same surname as they come across the hill and down into SW Motec.
Archie McDonald seems to have settled himself down. A little bit of a gap back to Hayden Nelson there, Ollie Simpson's teammate.
Marcus Hammond closing in on the back of Tom Bramich as well for 7th position. You can see the Motor City entry there closing up onto the back of the Apex Group machine. Here they come down into Pirelli. Oh, big move there. I think you'll find that was Levi Russo late on the brakes on the red bike into turn 6 Pirelli corner.
Well, I think that it was Jesus Torres Cabrera made the move past as well. He's there. He is there. He's making his way forward. He went past Glenn Nelson. That was Levi Russo on the brakes, getting the better of Tom Bramich. Now he's trying to go with Marcus Hammond as well. Those two, of course, have raced plenty of times together over the last few years in various categories. These two were 2 of the front runners also in the Supersport Championship last year. Well, Archie McDonald was on the same bike, but Ollie Simpson's had a change of bike in the off-season, and once again, they're still going at it in this category. But once again, Steve, as you pointed out before in the Supersport 300, the Race and Road Supersport 300 category, different bikes, different advantages at different areas of the circuit. Yeah, absolutely. The Kawasaki with 636, 36 more CCs than the Yamaha's, probably a little bit torquier. The Yamaha's got a newer chassis. That Kawasaki chassis has been around for quite a while now, but it obviously still works quite well. When they got here this weekend, it wasn't working. Brian Starring, the crew chief for Ollie Simpson in his first year as a crew chief, doing a fantastic job at turning the bike around.
Oh, Bramich there. How did he get that bike turned into
he's
SW Motec corner? Because the bike was all out of shape. He had to work overtime to get that bike stopped and turned. That just shows the experience of Tom Bramich.
Yeah, he's definitely struggling a little bit this weekend, is Tom. Jack Mahaffey with the fastest lap of the race so far, 33.6 compared to 34.3 for his teammate Archie McDonald. So bit of a gap between the two at the moment, Mahaffey and McDonald.
Well, Tom Bramich is the most experienced Supersport rider out there across all venues. This is his 49th start in the Supersport category, Tom Bramich. Of course, former Australian Supersport 300 champion as well. Raced overseas in the World Supersport 300 Championship as well, as we see Marcus Hammond now trying to work his way forward, getting the, just maintaining that lead over Levi Russo on board bike number 12.
Yeah, good to see Levi Russo having a good ride as well. Didn't see much of him in the earlier race, but you can see they're just going past Hammond down the straight with Bramich there in the background too. Just nips past Hammond as well.
We can see the Honda might be just a fraction down on top speed, but you look how good Marcus is on the brakes and into the corner. We know that the Honda has got a great chassis on it, and geez, he didn't get up that position without a serious fight.
No, he had a good go up the inside there. Still a rookie in this class, a lot to learn, and when you're following guys like Tom Bramich, you're going to learn quickly.
Well, that third lap of the race is complete, and the fastest man on track with the fastest lap of the race, a 1:33.292 for Archie McDonald. The gap back to or forward to his teammate is just over half a second. So let's see what Archie can do on this fourth lap now to try and reel back in that 0.6 of a second lead that Mahaffey has managed to build up. Oh, look at Russo. Fair amount of... Oh,
that is wide.
That's wide, but also very close with Bramich coming up the inside. He saw the opportunity, and Bramich was straight in there. No second invitation required.
Yeah, it just seems to have taken Tom Bramich a little bit of time to settle himself into the race. He's done all the hard work to get past those guys, but pretty much, he's lost the toe to the front group now. So unfortunately, a couple of mediocre laps at the start really hampered Tom Bramich.
Well, and welcome back to a sensational Sydney Motorsport Park. Thanks very much to the New South Wales Government and Destination New South Wales. We're on the 5th lap of the 11th lap race, nearly half race distance. Perfect time for an update from you, Chris.
Yeah, I'm down here with Jake Farnsworth. Not where I wanted to see. I wanted to see in the podium, mate, but very sore, I think, after that crash on the siding lap. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was really weird. I come around turn 7, Corporate Hill, and I was completely backed off, just rolling through the corner, and I just completely lost the rear end in a split second, and it sent me over the bars. It was pretty nasty, but I just don't understand what happened. It just happened so fast.
A few of the other riders on the grid said there was potentially oil down or something, and they saw you go. They said it was really strange crash. How are you?
Not too bad. A couple of scars, but I'll be back better than ever. Don't worry. It hasn't been our weekend for sure, but it's all about how you bounce back. So I'm all good.
Very much so. I know you're qualified in the front row of the grid. He's holding his foot up, so he's tough. He's not showing us what's going on. How's the bike? Like, it looks pretty bad.
Let's not. I had a problem in race 1 with my first bike, and then now this bike has had this accident. So yeah, it's not a great weekend, but yeah, I just wanted Dad to have some extra work to do.
I hope that's not true. Back to you guys.
Well, the good news for Crazy Jake is they've got just over a month to get ready for the next round at Queensland Raceway. I'll tell you what, Jack Mahaffey better start getting ready, because an attack from his teammate is coming almost immediately, Steve, as they make their way down the AMMF straight and into Sydney.com corner. McDonald used the slipstream, but on this occasion chose to just sit there and let Jack do a bit of the donkey work out front.
Yeah, well, we're going to see how long Archie's going to sit there for, because he likes to lead and he likes to put dominance over everybody out on the track. He's right in the perfect spot at the moment to attack. Jack Mahaffey, he's caught him up. That lead that was over a second is now down to 0.3, virtually 0, as you can see there.
And they've got a 5.2 second lead over the next rider, Ollie Simpson. So once again, it is a stop and seal benefit. But I think when you have a look at the qualifying times, we knew that if the track was completely dry, the same conditions that we saw in qualifying, that this was completely on the cards.
Yeah, 100%. These guys were in a class of their own. A little bit wide there for Mahaffey. Allows a better drive up the Racing Road hill.
Well, you can see that McDonald has closed up there. On the last lap, he was 0.4 of a second faster. He's now right on the back of bike number 37, ridden by Mahaffey. Mahaffey looks very good through that drive through that corner there and out onto the Blue Crew area of the circuit. Let's have a look now if McDonald can utilise the slipstream once more. Will he go past his teammate Mahaffey at the end of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight?
I think that he does have a little bit better drive out onto that straight. He's in that slipstream. He's going to go past him here. Unless he's just holding back at the moment.
Maybe just holding back, keeping a little bit in the tyres for the final laps of the race to try and get past his teammate and then make a break, because he knows that Mahaffey's going to come back over the last lap and try and steal that position. He wants the round win, does Mahaffey. And I think if he can finish in second place, he still should secure the round win because of Archie McDonald back in 9th position in that first race.
He's quick through there, is Mahaffey. He pulled a bit of a lead out through there, to be honest.
Looks like the one area of the circuit where he seems to have the wood over his teammate. Looking back at the times, Ollie Simpson's dropped back to 4th place, Steve, because your man, Jesus Torres Cabrera, has now moved up into 3rd position on the port bike entry, bike number 11.
Yeah, he honestly, I saw him make a move earlier on, and he was on a mission. He is so good on the brakes. Must have done some laps around here. I don't know what he's done, but he's come from nowhere, hasn't he?
Well, the port bike guys will be down there cheering their rider on to hopefully see him on the podium, and talking to Chris Vermeulen after this race. We're on lap 7, so if he can keep that sort of momentum up, he's got a 0.3 of a second lead over Ollie Simpson, who we know is going to come back. There is the battle, and Ollie Simpson's teammate Hayden Nelson is right there as well. So we'll focus on this little battle as they come round through the top end of the circuit, through Blue Crew and through Yamaha Revs Your Heart corner. Out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight. Let's have a look at the difference in top speed between the port bike entry and also the BC Performance Kawasaki's, ridden by Simpson and Nelson.
Down the straight they go, and it is the number 11, Jesus Torres Cabrera, who leads the way. Simpson hasn't got an answer for him.
We know Ollie's good on the brakes down into turn 2. Has he got a comeback as they come out of Sydney.com corner? Well, look at the corner run-in speed from Torres Cabrera. He's gone in way too hot, too wide. He's had to stand up as Simpson comes back up the inside. I get a feeling, though, Steve, that that's not the end of hair sauce on board bike number 11.
Well, he's so good on the brakes, and when he dives in, look at it, see how he goes in way early. He doesn't really sweep in, stay out wide, then sweep in. He does that every single time, but look, he's on the change of direction. He's made that. Has he made it? Yes, he has, but he's almost easy. Again, you watch him here. He dives to that inside on the brakes. He's through. He's on the limit, but gets through. Simpson fights back up the Racing Road hill, round that left-hand downhill corner. Simpson on the inside, down into Kawasaki. That is close.
God, that was so close up the inside, and you can see that Simpson was way offline. He was desperate to try and get through there.
Well,
he knows that he's got to try and get a little bit of a gap over Torres Cabrera before they get round onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight. But we saw how fast his bike was in a straight line with no slipstream advantage. The others weren't able to catch up to him.
Yeah, easier than it sounds to get a bit of an advantage on the number 11 tonight, because he is on fire and giving it his all. This will be a good result for Hayden Nelson too, to be this close to his teammate, someone as experienced as Ollie Simpson.
There goes Torres Cabrera down the inside into Sydney.com corner. Oh, that was just corner running speed once again, as you've mentioned several times. Just in this race, Steve, that he takes a very strange line, but he runs in so hot into the corner. He's probably run a fraction wide there, but he got it back on track pretty quickly. Yeah, and Simpson just had no room to get up the inside. Yeah,
he managed to hold it together that time, but he's so late on the brakes. Impressive style, but he just dives in early, and the bike's a little bit out of control, maybe a bit down too far in the front, makes the back bobble around a bit more than it probably should, but he seems to be handling it.
And I think also at Phillip Island, he had a disastrous weekend. I don't think he scored a point. I think he had DNFs in both races. I don't know if they were crashes or mechanical issues, but I can't remember him scoring a point in either of the races at Phillip Island. But he has been on fire since the first practice session here at Sydney Motorsport. I think he might have had a bit of a moment there coming out of Race and Road Corner.
Well, whatever happens, he's had a super successful weekend. Do you know what I mean? Like him and Jack Favell, probably the standouts this weekend so far.
And Favell is still managing to hold off Archie McDonald as we come round to complete 9 laps. So there will be 2 laps and just under 8 kilometres to go for Mahaffey. And this will be a landmark victory for Mahaffey to once again go P1 in a head-to-head battle with his teammate if he can hold him off.
Yeah, I'm glad you put if he can hold him off on the equation there, because this is not over just yet. We know that Archie McDonald is going to attack 100% because this is about dominance. You've got to beat your teammate, don't you?
Well, you do, and these two have gone head-to-head in several races over the end of last year and in all 3 races at the first round at Phillip Island. It's fair to say that the first race here this weekend was not a head-to-head battle between these two. Mahaffey taking the win over a very small margin. Oh, look at Torres Cabrera into SW Motec corner.
He almost made 2 bike lengths on the brakes.
That is insane how fast he goes into there on a Supersport machine. That's Supersport 300S corner run into.
Yeah, he's almost broken the 2 BC Performance Kawasaki's behind him now. There's 2 or 3 bike lengths there. They're coming into their final lap after this one.
Got news for you, Steve. Archie McDonald set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. I think he's gearing up because he means business now. He was half a second faster than his teammate. But what has Mahaffey been able to bring out on this penultimate lap? Because they'll come round to get the last lap board now. They exit Yamaha corner onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start finish straight. The last lap board has been issued to our race leaders. 3.93 kilometres to go for Mahaffey to hold off McDonald to find a way past Mahaffey. That is the equation. It's pretty simple. Who's going to come out on top? Well, we're coming up to turn 2, the motor corner, the first overtaking opportunity for Archie McDonald.
Yep, and he's tried to go around the outside there. That's not going to work for him. He needed to try and dive up the inside there. Next opportunity is down the hill, through Motol and down the hill.
Into SW Motec, and I think they're coming to, oh, look at that was where we said that Mahaffey's really good on the drive out of Motol. There's no way through there for Archie McDonald.
No.
Possibly Pirelli at turn 6, Steve?
Maybe, but he's just got too much of a gap here. Into turn 9, possibly, at the bottom hairpin.
Oh, no, that's Josh Newman, the reigning Supersport 300 champion. Looks like he's got some sort of mechanical issue that's ended his race early.
It's going to have to be a big one up through here, down into Kawasaki, but that gap is too far back at the moment.
So Mahaffey's still holding off McDonald.
Oh, Mahaffey's a little bit out of control. Can he hold it tight?
Oh, he's got to get great drive out of here.
Coming up against somebody.
Well, there's a lapped rider about to be lapped, and Mahaffey and McDonald both get up the inside. That's good news. Well done to that rider to get out of the way and make sure that these two can duel it out all the way to the flag. Oh, McDonald's got great drive out of here. Can he keep it all in shape? He's going to get the slipstream. This is going to be very close.
He has got a good drive too. Look at him. He's come out. He's going to, oh my.
Well played by Archie McDonald. He planned that one to absolute perfection. It was set up on the entry into turn 10. He eventually takes the win by 0.039 of a second over his teammate Mahaffey. Torres Cabrera, a breakthrough first podium for him.
How happy is he?
Well done to Jesus Torres Cabrera on board bike number 11, his first podium. And here goes Levi Russo drafting past Tom Bramich to take 6th position as well. That will be his best result in the Kawasaki Supersport category as well. Glenn Nelson will finish in 8th position. Marcus Hammond will finish in 9th. And Sam Pizzetto, the young South Australian, should round out your top 10.
Yeah, what a good ride by all of those guys. Incredible stuff. What about this guy, Archie McDonald? Oh, what a ride.
As we said, he sat there and he let Jack Mahaffey do all the donkey work until the final corner. That's confidence to leave it until that late in the race. The eventual winning margin, 0.039 of a second over Mahaffey. Jesus Torres Cabrera in third, a breakthrough podium for the Port Bike rider on bike number 11. Hayden Nelson took fourth, Ollie Simpson took fifth, Russo a great result in sixth, ProMX seventh, Glenn Nelson eighth, Hamid in ninth, and Pizzetta rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, good to see Damien Adams, a great result in 11th place for him. Liam Waters is right up there. Ryder Gilbert, he came through the pack to finish 13th. Simone Baldrini was there in that 14th, and 15th was, of course, Josh Newman.
Plenty of action still to go tonight. Perfect opportunity before we get any further into the program to head down to Chris.
Well, what a race it was for the Kawasaki Supersport race 2. And we've got a first-time podium man in Jesus Torres Cabrera. Mate, fantastic race. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah, it was a pretty good race. I'm super happy because maybe we don't have the best bike, but we did our best with the mechanic and everything. So I'm really happy to be here, and I hope there is more podiums incoming.
So do we. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much, and thank you to my mechanics, also Nicoli's family that helped me a lot.
Cool. Well done, mate. That's our third place man. Our second place, he won race 1. It was close. He led the whole thing. Jack Mahaffey, congratulations. Round winner, but your teammate got you in that one.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, that was a tough race because there was a streak of water under the bridge in turn 7. I thought it was oil at first on the warm-up lap when I saw Jake go down, but it was a streak of water and it was right in the shade, so no lights were on it. Yeah. So it was super difficult to gauge. But yeah, hats off to Archie. I'm happy to make it easy for him and lead the whole race. But, anyway, I feel pretty strong. We just got to stay smart for the championship and, I'm just going to keep working and stay sharp. Thanks.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
There you go, that's our second place man. And our race winner, he struggled in race 1 with the iffy conditions, but he got this one.
He's done it!
Archie McDonald, congratulations.
Thank you, Chris. It was a difficult race 1. Like, we put the wets on and it just didn't work out in the dry conditions, but we had a bit of a wet stream, you could call it, across the track and that one on dry tyres. I mean, everyone went over it pretty finely, besides Jake Farnsworth. I hope he's okay. He had a tumble in race in the warm-up lap. But yeah, we bring it out on top. We're second overall in the round, and I don't know what the championship's like. It'd be close, but we've got a whole year ahead of us, and I want to wish the best of luck to everyone for the year ahead.
Well, congratulations again. There you go, our podium finishes for the Kawasaki Supersport Championship.
Plenty more action coming up in the Australian Superbike Championship. The next round is at Queensland Raceway, Bike Jones' home turf on the 2nd to the 4th of May. Then we go to Morgan Park, Queensland Raceway once again with the V8s for round 5. Phillip Island in September, One Raceway in October, and the traditional finale at the Bend in November. There's plenty more action coming up, and the championships will go right down to the wire. Of course, ProMX, Wondaggi round 1, we've already had that. We've already seen that the next round is at Appin in just a couple of weeks' time here in New South Wales. Gilman in South Australia for round 3. Traralgon in Victoria, May and round 4. Warwick in Queensland for the round 5 extravaganza in June. Back to New South Wales and Nowra in July for round 6. Toowoomba is also round 7 in July, and then Queensland Moto Park for the final round in August. So there's plenty more action coming up, but we can't wait to see you at Queensland Raceway at the beginning of May.